Let us look at the decentralized network governance and future of regulation with blockchain technology. Advancements in the digital domain, for example in blockchain technology, big data, and machine learning, are increasingly shaping the lives of individuals, groups, organizations, and societies. These developments call for effective governance to protect the basic interests and needs of these actors. Simultaneously, the very nature of governance is also changing. Policy making is increasingly moving away from top-down governance by the state towards more horizontal modes of governance. We will look at the governance theory in order to conceptualize governance as a mode of decentralized network regulation. It seems that the current dominant modes of governance are inadequate in understanding governance in the digital domain and are poorly equipped to conceptualize novel forms of governance such as decentralized autonomous organizations or DAOs for short. The model will explore the role that blockchain technology can play in what we term decentralized network governance. Blockchain is one of these new technologies and is widely seen as a Swiss multi-tool that can provide solutions for many emergent problems areas such as digital identity, data ownership, privacy, and even future decentralized decision making. The manner in which societies are and can be effectively governed has changed. Because of the pressures of globalization, functional differentiation, and technological specialization, governance processes and mechanisms have become increasingly decentered, horizontal, and ultimately networked. Policymaking no longer relies primarily on the exerted power of a single actor, which has traditionally been the state. Instead, interactions and societies are becoming increasingly governed by networks that comprise a diverse set of public and private actors. It has also been acknowledged that the digital era is increasingly fragmenting the playing field between governance actors. These changes necessitate an update conceptualization of what governance is, as well as consideration of what extent new technologies like blockchain technology can contribute to effective and legitimate governance mechanisms. As we are advancing on the technology front, we realize that the creation, collection, dissemination, and distribution of all sorts of information in the digital domain rely no longer solely on social processes but increasingly on technology. An algorithm determines what kind of updates you see on, say, Facebook. Media agencies rely on data analysis to assess the newsworthiness of the information, and social networking sites and blogs are digitally scraped for information to target advertisements at individuals. Information is crucial for social coordination or for governance. And digital data are the modern embodiment of information. This means that the conditions of the digital domain affect governance substantially. More and more of our social interactions are being shaped by these technologies. The political and economic worlds are also becoming increasingly structured and regulated by the effects of AI and DLT, increased connectivity, and the services surrounding them. Researchers and professionals alike are prophesizing a data revolution that is as equal in impact and disruptive in force as the Industrial Revolution. Well, we already know that a blockchain is a decentralized database that stores a registry of assets and transactions across a peer-to-peer network. The asset may not only be money or transactional information, but also information regarding ownership, contracts, goods, and any other information. A blockchain does not duplicate the value that is transferred, like other peer-to-peer networks, but instead it registers that a value has been transferred from one actor to another. Moreover, DLT does not require any central control system, and it stores the transaction history in a blocks of data that are cryptographically locked together. As it is replicated on every node in the blockchain network, it becomes an immutable and transparent historical records of all transactions. Since DLT allows the tracing of every transaction from the beginning until it is validated and added to the blockchain or similarly structured ledgers, users can verify whether an error has happened and also where the error has occurred. Another important aspect that we need to consider is the fact that when it comes to decentralized governance and impact of blockchain in particular and other emerging technologies in general, there are two perspectives. One, blockchain applications enabling decentralized governance with a business use case. And two, blockchain technology having a larger impact on the way the governance is carried out today by governments or corporates or individuals. What is becoming clear is that implementing decentralized governance is not only a function of technology design, but also a function of cultural adoption. Determining the right mix of technical design and best practices of cultural adoption will then inform us on how decentralized our particular use case needs to be. To determine where we should end up in the decentralized spectrum, let us first take a stab at painting the current landscape. As you can see, before we go further, it is important to know that the diagram is just an attempt to paint the current landscape, which is intended to be a mere illustration for us to think about the topic of decentralized governance in a more graduated fashion. It is sufficient to say the exercise of determining whether an industry should be centralized or decentralized is not quite black and white. And as we explore blockchain technology and governance solutions, we should strive to understand what are the strengths and weaknesses of our current systems before replacing them completely or to an extent with a decentralized solution. Given the properties of blockchain technology and ecosystem that we have already learned about, the technology set it up well to be a prime candidate to implement decentralized governance models in which bottom-up innovation can be proposed, voted on, verified, and implemented. While blockchain governance